Subscribe to Intoxicated 3PO. Is that what they wanted? Yeah? Are we good? Did we do it?
But I feel like Dave Filoni should be basically who George was. I think he should be. I think he should have Kathleen Kennedy's job. I really should. I really do think that.
And now there's Star Wars theory calling for a change in Lucasfilm. Some people agree with him that it should be Dave Filoni. Some people say Jon Favreau. All I know is, since Lucasfilm has been under Kathleen Kennedy, it has been mismanaged. And let's go back and see this from the beginning. It all started with George selling Star Wars and Lucasfilm to Disney and putting Kathleen Kennedy in charge. Yes, he's the one who put Kathleen Kennedy in charge. Let's not forget that. And here is how she handled running Lucasfilm. It all starts with the video we have all seen many times before.
I have story treatments of 7, 8, and 9 and a bunch of other movies, and obviously we have hundreds of books and comics and everything you could possibly imagine. So, you know, I sort of moved that treasure trove of stories and various things to Kathy, and, you know, I have complete confidence that she's going to take them and make great movies.
And what exactly did we do with that treasure trove of comics, books, outlines to make great films? We lied about it.
So that's really the challenge, is that we don't have source material. We don't have 800-page books that we're adapting. We don't even really have comic books that give us a great deal. We have an idea, we have a mythology that George Lucas created.
Hold up.
I have story treatments of 7, 8, and 9 and a bunch of other movies, and obviously we have hundreds of books and comics and everything you could possibly imagine.
Well, Kennedy decided to do her own thing, which was in her right to do. She hired J.J. Abrams, and out comes The Force Awakens. And when they invited George Lucas up to preview what they were doing, this is what Bob Iger says happened. Betrayed. George Lucas, the creator, felt betrayed. He wasn't upset, wasn't disappointed, wasn't sad. He felt betrayed. This was found in Bob Iger's book, The Ride of a Lifetime, saying that George felt betrayed. And I got to give Bob credit. Let's give credit where credit is due. He decided to leave that word betrayed in his book because betrayed is like, you lied to me and stabbed me in the back. You told me one thing and you're doing something else. And this is how you are making the creator of Star Wars feel. Obviously, you did something wrong right off the bat. And then came The Last Jedi. Now, The Last Jedi did have one amazing thing. The cinematography was probably the best in any Star Wars film I had ever seen. But after watching it and seeing Rian Johnson's vision of Star Wars, which basically lined up with Kathleen Kennedy's vision of Star Wars, which was this, to tear down characters to build the new characters up.
And that little annoyed look to her, Mark. Great, that cut it.
That's right, the destruction of Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker, who has been the face of Star Wars, who was the hero of Star Wars, who taught us to never stop believing that people can change. And yes, there will be a video on Luke Skywalker for another day. And this film was approved. Not only did it shatter the fan base, but Lord help us all. Lord help us all if anybody spoke out against this film. You had the director himself calling people names who criticized this film, not only calling us man babies, but giving people the middle finger who criticized The Last Jedi. That's right, the director of the film. It was only a matter of time before others began speaking out, including some of the actors of the film.
Congrats on The Last Jedi.
Thank
Really
you.
enjoyed it. Are you
Thank
happy
you.
with it?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's go with that.
I will give Rian Johnson credit for one thing. His vision of Star Wars did attract an audience that actually loves Rian Johnson's vision of Star Wars. The people that love Rian Johnson's visions of Star Wars are the people that don't go to see the films multiple times, that don't buy the toys, that don't buy the merchandise, and criticizes anybody by calling them horrific names who speak out against his vision of Star Wars. And then came Galaxy's Edge. Man, what a great idea. They teased us with pictures of the Millennium Falcon, and who wouldn't want a Star Wars land where we could go and visit the places that we love? Tatooine, Coruscant, maybe even have a piece of the Death Star. Hey, we get to ride the Millennium Falcon. Everything seemed to be going back on the right track until Kathleen Kennedy.
So we really should think about, or do we want to build a Tatooine and build what all the 50-somethings remember Star Wars is? Or do we want to build something else which is going to appeal to all the upcoming generations who are going to know the new stories? And that day, the Tatooine was killed at the studios.
Thank you, that Star Wars girl, for the clip. So apparently in Kathleen Kennedy's mind, you have to be 50-something to enjoy the original trilogy. She does not understand that these movies are timeless, that these movies are passed down to generations, that these parents are the ones buying the gifts for their children. Oh yeah, and how did the opening of Galaxy's Edge go? Yeah, it went well. I also have a video essay on Galaxy's Edge coming in the near future. Yes, it went really well. A ghost town is what they called it. Now, trust me, I didn't forget. Rogue One came out, and many people will argue that this was the most successful Disney film in the Disney Star Wars era. Because of the success of this film, they announced all kinds of movies. You announced a Boba Fett movie, an Obi-Wan film, and many more, and then we got this film. Yes, here it is, the first Star Wars film to ever lose money. And the excuse from Lucasfilm was Star Wars fatigue. That's right. You fired the director who was almost 80% done with the film, brought in Ron Howard, gave us a Star Wars film that nobody wanted, and you said, well, I think it's because of Star Wars fatigue. That's the excuse? And then you did it. You approved Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. You approved it and thought this is the grand finale of the Skywalker saga. The epic grand finale, which was met with wonderful, wonderful praise by critics all around. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is now the worst reviewed Star Wars movie. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is the biggest grossing box office disappointment. Star Wars may never recover from the damage done by Rise of Skywalker. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is the worst Star Wars movie ever, and I'm telling you, the articles just kept coming and coming and coming. Even John Campea, who loved The Last Jedi, did not like The Rise of Skywalker. He tweeted over and over and over why this movie was bad. Meet Molly and Alex. While I'm not the biggest Molly and Alex fan, they do run a successful YouTube channel called Star Wars Explained with over 500,000 subscribers. The reason why I put them here is because they make a valid point about Episode 9.
Director has the right to change if they feel the need to, and yeah, it is what it is.
It's tough because yeah, I do think that JJ deserves to tell his story, but it's like, if you want to play in Star Wars, should you not respect what came before? And
a lot of people will say the same thing about Last Jedi.
Totally fair. Like, I see where that's coming from, but that's how I'm feeling about this one.
Alex and Molly, let me go on record and say I totally agree with you. So Kathleen, if you're gonna play in Star Wars, shouldn't you respect and honor what came before? And the point is, if you can't even cater to the fan base that you created, if you can't even give them a trilogy that they enjoy, then there's definitely a need for a change at Lucasfilm. Honestly, you probably should have just had Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams just do the entire trilogy, because then maybe there would have been a story and the fan base that you created will love it from top to bottom. And of course, we've got the May the 4th announcement of a female-focused Star Wars series. Well, let's just hear what a woman has to say about that.
What do you think about this announcement? How do you see it?
You're going to be a little surprised about what I have to say, though.
Okay.
I really, really loathe the descriptor of female-led.
Because of YouTube, I can't show the entire clip, but Aaron goes on to say, if the show fails or if it's not very good, then the argument would be that it is because it is a female-centric show. And this is why she doesn't like that header of a Star Wars show that is female-centric. And we all agree with her on that. But since Kathleen Kennedy's been running Lucasfilm, I mean, look, we've had Rey, the lead character of the trilogy. We've had Jen, the lead character of Rogue One. And if you played Battlefront 2, which was EA, but still under the timeline of Kennedy, we also have a female lead in the story mode of the game. Kind of interesting, all these women kind of look like this one. Brown hair. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Forget I said it, but I'm leaving it in the video. Alright, it's just a joke. I'm just saying, those three women, they all have brown hair. And okay, I'm gonna stop. There was Jedi Fallen Order. Okay, that was a success. And of course, we have The Mandalorian and the Clone Wars and other things that many people feel are great Star Wars. But this is my take on why we need new leadership. This is how I feel. Why Kathleen Kennedy, she had a shot. I think she did not hit the mark. And that we need somebody else in there that understands and knows Star Wars. Has nothing to do with female leads. Has nothing to do with female directors. Has everything to do with the Star Wars story and respecting the creation of George Lucas. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below. You could say I'm crazy. You could say this video is terrible. Or you could say I agree with you. This is the Drunk 3PO channel. I'll catch you next time.